So what is conservation agriculture and regenerative agriculture? Conservation agriculture was called conservation agriculture because it was started to conserve soil to farmers and scientists' incredible concern over the amount of soil that was being lost on agricultural lands. It began back in the 1970s, and it began with what is called no-till. And as the name implies, there was no tillage. And no tillage grew into conservation agriculture. No tillage, or minimum disturbance of the soil, is the first principle of conservation agriculture. The thinking behind that is if you disturb the soil less with implements like plows, then there will be less runoff and erosion from those soils. The second principle is to rotate your crops. In the case of a summer grain region here in South Africa, rotating your maize with soya plants, you then break the disease cycles and help improve the soil health by not having a monoculture growing in that field. The third principle is that you must leave some residue behind, that you must not take all of the organic matter off the field when you harvest the crop, or when you send livestock into the field after having harvested the crop to go and eat the rests. Traditionally, farmers had put livestock back into the fields and grazed away the rest to almost nothing. In some areas, for various reasons, the farmers would burn off all of the residue. And what this meant was that the earth was then left exposed to the sun, the wind and the rain for the next 8 months until the crop came into that field again. And as you can imagine, all of that was not very healthy for the soil ecosystem. So these three soil health principles, and that's really at the core of it, what it is about, is creating healthy soil that can infiltrate rain, hold rain, not run off, not erode away, and can be there to receive your next crop and give you a healthy crop. So it's really all around the soil health principles. And what has happened in more recent times is those three soil health principles of conservation agriculture have expanded to what are now referred to as the 5 soil health principles, and a cornerstone of regenerative agriculture. Now, regenerative agriculture is defined by many people as being many different things, and it's very broad, this definition. But whatever your version of regenerative agriculture is, or your definition of it is, at the core of it is soil health principles. And the additional 2 soil health principles that came in was a living root in the ground for as many days of the year as possible, preferably 365, but climate and weather can play a big role in that and make that not possible in many cases. And then the final one, the integration of livestock into the system so that livestock can consume biomass on that land, on that soil, and process that biomass and then add their fertility with their dung and their urine back to that soil, completing the life cycle of the soil and the plant and the biomass.